Getting a residence permit through a digital nomad visa has become the most popular way to relocate to Europe as of late 2025. Right now, around 60% of our clients come to us specifically with questions about digital nomad programs. And while some of these programs make it incredibly easy to get a resident card, there are others I wouldn't recommend to anyone. Welcome to the Wise Move YouTube channel. My name is Eugene. I'm one of the co-founders of our immigration agency. When people talk about the Digital Nomad Visa, the first country that comes to mind is, of course, Spain. I've covered this topic many times before, especially since I personally hold a Spanish Digital Nomad Visa myself. But lately, we've been getting a lot of questions from our viewers and clients about other countries, specifically the Digital Nomad Visas in Greece, Latvia, Croatia, Portugal, and others. So today, I'll walk you through which countries are actually worth considering for this type of residency, which ones definitely aren't, and why. Let's quickly cover why so many people choose Spain for the digital nomad residency. There are a few key reasons. First, this visa fits almost anyone. If you have any kind of financial base, employment income, passive income, investments, savings in a bank account, anything along those lines, basically if you have funds in any form, our team will help you put together the documents correctly so that the Spanish Immigration Service approves your residency application. The second major advantage of Spain is the nearly 100% positive outcome rate. In the 2.5 years that we've been working with this immigration program, since the day it launched, we haven't had a single rejection. There have been some additional document requests in individual cases and occasional delays for various reasons, but even accounting for that, this program remains one of the most stable and fastest ways to get residency. That brings us to the next key strength of the Spanish Digital Nomad Visa. It's one of the fastest residency permits in the European Union. If you already have a Schengen visa, the entire process of getting Spanish residency takes around 2 months. From the moment I entered Spain and submitted my documents online to physically receiving my residence card, only 7 weeks passed. And that's pretty standard. Even if we factor in some seasonal delays, for example, this past summer there were long queues for biometric appointments in popular tourist regions of Spain. It might stretch to 3 or 4 months. But even that is radically faster than most other immigration programs in the EU. Document preparation typically takes about a week or 2. Getting a Schengen visa takes about a month, and these processes can run in parallel. So, 1 month for the Schengen visa and document prep, plus 2 months inside Spain, totaling about 3 months before you have your resident card in hand. Logical question: why does a Schengen visa even matter when we're talking about getting residency and immigration pathway? Normally these things aren't connected at all. Here's the thing: Spain is the only EU country where you can enter on a tourist Schengen visa and submit your residency application from inside the country. Why does this matter? It dramatically speeds up the entire process. Because if you go the standard route, getting an entry visa first, then exchanging it for a residence card, that whole sequence can take 3 to 6 months. Only in Spain can you skip that step and go straight to getting the residence card in hand. And of course, residency cards are issued for the entire family at once. Spain is also one of the few countries where you can include adult children in your application. It requires some additional document work, but we do this for our clients regularly. That's another major advantage Spain has over many other EU countries. And the residence cards are issued for 3 years. Now let's look at how things stand with other digital nomad programs across Europe. The Digital Nomad Visa exists in various European countries. Lately, we've often been asked, for example, about the Greek Digital Nomad program. This program was fairly popular up until 2023. So what happened in 2023? The Spanish Digital Nomad Visa was launched, and it immediately rendered many of the older Digital Nomad Visas obsolete. Here's why. The Spanish program was modeled after the Portuguese one, but with simplified criteria. And a critical difference between the Spanish and Portuguese Digital Nomad Visas and the rest is that they are actual immigration programs. Meaning, you can come to the country, get residency through this program, renew it, and eventually qualify for citizenship and a second passport. Before that, Digital Nomad Visas worked in a completely different way. The concept was that you got a temporary residence permit that could only be renewed once. Meaning you couldn't actually emigrate to, say, Greece via the Digital Nomad program, because there's no immigration component built into it. And in this regard, nothing has changed in Greece over all these years. Greece, Latvia, Croatia, and several other EU countries don't offer any path to a second passport through these programs. But here's an interesting point. Many of our clients lately come to us not necessarily to obtain a second citizenship. Many simply want to get a residence card valid for a long enough period for their own personal goals. In some cases, they don't even plan to renew it. In Spain, you can get residency for 3 years, just like I did. And many people don't become tax residents, because if you don't live in the country for more than 183 days a year, you don't become a tax resident. So you end up with a residence card valid for 3 years, which you can use throughout that entire period. Enter and exit the EU as many times as you want, open a business in Europe, place your kids, spouse, or partner in school or work in Spain or another EU country. You can simply have a plan B, a residence card sitting in your pocket, ready to go, so that if anything happens, you can relocate to Europe with your entire family at any moment. From this angle, Greece, Latvia, and Croatia don't work either. The reason is that Spain, along with France, is one of the rare EU countries that doesn't track or check whether you're physically present in the EU. Normally, the assumption is that if you've received a temporary residence permit in some European country, you're required to actually live there. If you're not present for more than 183 days a year, your residence card gets revoked, cancelled, and ceases to be valid. In Spain, no one cares whether you're in the country or not. For all 3 years that the residency card is valid, it stays valid. From an immigration standpoint, there are currently 3 countries in Europe that offer the ability to get residency through a digital nomad program and eventually convert it into a second passport, once you've lived in the country long enough and met the criteria. These are Spain, Portugal, and Italy. I've already said plenty about Spain, so let's break down the other 2. As for Portugal, back in 2022 and 2023, this was a very popular country for relocation to Europe. Our team also worked with Portugal in 2022 and offered various immigration programs available there. However, around 2023, we stopped doing that. And ever since, I've been telling viewers on our YouTube channel that Portugal is far from the best option for relocation. The reasons? Political instability and uncertainty, very high prices that are now on par with Spain, and in some cases even higher, and unpredictable drawn-out processing times for residency cards, plus several other issues. Very recently, Portugal passed a new law that pushed the path to citizenship, which used to be available after 5 years of residency, out to 10 years. And in parallel, you have to keep in mind, as I already mentioned, that in Spain you can get residency in just 2 months. In Portugal, the same process can easily take a year or a year and a half. We still occasionally take cases for clients in Portugal, and over the last 2 years, we haven't had a single case where the applicant managed to get their residence card faster than a year. If you take all this into account, including the political uncertainty in the country, and the fact that the path to a passport is now likely going to be around 13 years total, which is significantly longer than even Spain, where you also need to live 10 years before applying for citizenship, but the total path to a passport currently averages around 11 years, then yes, Portugal can still be considered. As for Italy, there's one major drawback. Italian authorities issue the digital nomad residence card for only 1 year, and you have to renew it every single year. That's a serious downside. On top of that, for some reason, both Italy and Portugal apply significantly stricter criteria to digital nomad applicants than Spain does. For example, Portugal requires a higher declared income, and Italy has a number of difficulties around documentation, particularly proving where you'll be living. So, to wrap up, Greece, Latvia, and Croatia offer digital nomad programs that are simply outdated and no longer meet the criteria we'd realistically expect from this kind of program in 2025. Portugal and Italy are better options. The Italian program is the newest digital nomad program in Europe. It only launched last year. And if your goal is to actually live in Italy, this program can work for you. As for Portugal, I wouldn't recommend relocating there. For years, we've been saying that anything could change in this country at any moment. And here we are. People who were counting on getting a passport after 5 years of residency are now stuck in uncertainty. And nobody knows what other restrictions or new criteria might appear on the fly. And finally, the Spanish Digital Nomad Visa, which I personally hold and absolutely recommend. It's probably the simplest, most convenient, and fastest immigration program to the EU available today. If you're considering relocation to Europe or getting residency for your own goals, come to a free consultation via the link below this video. We'll analyze your situation and help you choose the country and immigration program that's perfectly suited to your specific objectives and goals.